Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited and turn on your notifications so you don't miss an episode. We have another guest today, born right here in the state of Georgia, five-time Pro Bowler, Atlanta Falcons legend, Jesse the Hammer Tuggle.
I should have brought a
what's
hammer.
up?
I should have brought a hammer for the props. Oh my goodness.
What's up, guys?
What's
Everything
going
is good,
on,
man.
Hammer?
Hey, look, man. Everything is good. Thank you guys for inviting me on the day. I'm enjoying myself, enjoying life, and looking forward to the upcoming football season.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Well,
But you know what? Let's get right at it, Jesse.
All right.
Tell us a little bit. Training camp has started all across the league whatsoever. The Falcons started
That's right.
this week whatsoever. Tell everyone about your first camp experience. What was that first day like for you?
Let's go back, man. Let's go back to the 80s. I came in as undrafted, 1987. Hey, look, man, we get the training camp, and I'm looking at all the linebackers. I'm one of 17, undrafted, and still got to make the football team. But luckily, back in those days, we was in camp for 4 or 5 weeks, and it was physical. It wasn't a passing camp like it is right now. You touch and tag off. It was physical.
Bob called it a pajama camp last week.
Hey, listen, every day, hard-nosed, pounding, and Bob was right. Look at it now, it's like a pajama camp. But those days, man, with hard-nosed pounding, you had to go out there and do what you had to do to show people that you could actually play. But that worked out to my advantage, though, because I was a hard hitter. I was an unknown hard hitter. And every day, man, I had to go against guys like the first overall draft pick, like Andre Bruce that came in 1988, Marcus Cotton, who was a second round, but the 32th pick overall. So you had to beat them type of guys out. And the only way you can beat them out, you had to go out there and physically put the helmet and gear on and go out there and show people you can play. So it was a hard-nosed, physical, extremely hot summer camp in Swanee, Georgia.
Wow. Hey, where did you get the nickname? Who gave you the nickname the Hammer?
The Hammer came about through a few people. I don't know actually who named me the Hammer or first one that called me the Hammer. I know the first nickname I had was a guy named John Rady who played linebacker right beside me. He started calling me Ragdoll because I was just tossing people around all the time in practice. 5'11", 230 pounds, about a 500-pound bench presser. You know what I mean? So I was extremely strong. And I would just throw people around. Then when the games actually started in 87 and 88, man, I was like really knocking people out. And the guys yell like, man, this dude hit like a hammer. And after that, all my boys referred to me as the Hammer 25, 30 years later, man, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I was going to ask you before we get into this year's training camp, I wanted to know, what do you think so far of the new Falcons regime, Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot?
You know what? I truly believe that Terry and Coach Smith and all them guys, they have nothing to lose because really, what happened over the last few years, in particular what happened last year, and with everything going on, you bring a new set of guys in here with some new thoughts, new ideas, new schemes, new personnel, but still got some current old stars. You still got Matt Ryan who's here, who's definitely got to lead that team. You got Grady Jarrett on the defense side of the field that he definitely got to lead that part of the defense as well. And all the other pieces you have to plug in. You plug in, and hopefully a guy like Deion Jones will come around. He's been playing pretty solid over the last 4 or 5 years. And I hopefully, defensively, I think Coach Pease is the defense coordinator. Got to figure out what they want to do. Are they going to stay with the 3-4? That's what he coached at Tennessee, and that's what he at Baltimore, and then he was with the Patriots, and they all ran 3-4 defenses. Here for the last 10 years or more, it seems like, Terrence, that they've been running 4-3. And for the average fan, it's a bit different because the personnel has to be a little bit different. So I'm curious, are they going to try to run a true 3-4 or mix it up a little bit? And what I've been hearing so far, they're going to try to mix up a little bit and add the 4-3 in there as well.
Right. Well, it's funny because I never thought about it this way. We've been talking about this new regime over the last couple of months or so. And, this first time I heard someone say they had nothing to lose. And after you said that, I thought about it. If you win one more game than they did last year, that's success. If you don't, people are gonna say, well, they're rebuilding, they're gonna get it. So at the end of the day, there's really, honestly, there's no pressure for this coaching staff and this team to go out and play. So they can go out and play free, because you kind of get a reprieve this year because of the new regime and everything that's new. So that makes sense. That really makes sense. That makes it easier for them to coach, makes it easier for them, the players, to go out and play and no pressure. Now, talking about the defense, you keep seeing 4-3, 3-4, whatsoever. Now, I think the Falcons have more linebackers on their roster than any team. It seemed like every week they sign in a linebacker. And
you're right.
So that goes to tell me that it's going to be more of a 3-4 scheme when you sign that many linebackers. Let me give you some names, Jesse. And
all right, go ahead.
You tell me what you think. Right now, projected starter. At weak side linebacker is Walker. Middle linebacker is Deion Jones. And I'm about to butcher this name, but it's going to be okay. Ola Okun. At strong side linebacker, and that's in your 4-3 scheme. Now, I've been saying this for the longest. Then you have guys like Copeland, Etheridge, Thomas, Kobe Jones, Skipper, Ellerby, and then you have Fowler as a defensive end / linebacker who's in the COVID situation right now. Now, here's what I've been saying for the longest, Jesse. If they go to more of a 3-4, I would move Debo to an outside linebacker because of his speed. He can rush the quarterback, get that small body out of the middle, and let him use his quickness and his speed to cover running backs, tight ends, and put pressure. That's your edge rusher. That's the edge rusher that you've been looking for over the last.
You know what? T-Matt, you got a good point there. When I look at the Falcons right now, what they're doing their linebackers, I really don't know many of them that well. Obviously Fourier and you got Deion Jones, who have been that solid two middle guys. But you're right. If they go to a 3-4 though, now it shake things up. Because first of all, you got to look at where are you going to play Grady Jarrett at, first of all. Although we're talking about linebackers, he's truly a tackle. He's not a nose guard. And he's not a defensive end. All right. So that throws your one of your better players on the defense, put him in a bad situation, because you cannot use him over the center and have him double team every play. You can't do that.
In a 3-4
in a 3-4 defense, right? Okay, then when I look at Deion Jones who can run, and Fourier can run too. Dude, why are you going to have those two guys who can run on the inside, but you don't have no outside speed that can come off the end? Now, won't you try to mix it up a little bit? One thing I noticed with the NFL sometimes, I'm not saying anything wrong with the scouts, but sometimes they get so technical, and you go out there and you try to bring these guys in, but if the guy's not equipped to do what your defense want him to do, how good and how effective he's going to be for your defense. And to me, you got two guys who supposedly running 4-4 in the 40, playing middle linebacker, but at middle linebacker, I ran 4-7, and no one got past me because I was downhill, physical, hard nose, and I'm playing in a box. I'm playing in a 10-by-10 box. That 4-4 speed only come in after the guy done broke the line of scrimmage and running for 50 yards.
You got chasing.
And now it's called chase down speed. You don't win Super Bowl with chase down speed. You win Super Bowl when linebackers coming to the line of scrimmage and making tackles. And I'm a big fan of Fourier, and I'm a big fan of Deion Jones as well. But I prefer them to be making plays at the line of scrimmage and don't worry about the 4-4. Use your quickness on the inside to beat guards and beat centers and beat who you're supposed to beat, so you can make plays behind the line of scrimmage. The Falcons' biggest problem right now is the obviously coming off the corner. Somehow they just haven't found a guy who can just do that right now, and this is the perfect time with the new coaching staff and new defense coordinator with Coach Pease to get out there and see who's going to be your number one rusher. You better find somebody quick. And all the names you brought in right now, I went through all the behind Deion Jones. You got Thompson, you got Copeland, you got Walker, you got babies. These babies, man. Elder Ridge. All them guys, and I'm looking at them like I don't really know many of them guys, and I look at their resumes. None of those guys are pass rushers. So it's going to be interesting to see how they put the whole package together.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's the X factor in all this, and that's Dante Fowler. I truly believe that once he's healthy and ready to go under this new scheme, under this new energy that Pease brings to the defense, I think he's going to be a factor. Because if you look at the defenses that Dan Pease has had over the years, that outside linebacker hybrid defensive end has been a key dominant player in that defense. And if I was Dante Fowler, I'd be excited right now. And some way,
no doubt.
You got to stay healthy. First of all, go get your shot, dude.
Hey, look, hey, T, I'm with you on that, man. Listen, if I'm a pro athlete, dude, and you pay me that kind of money, I got to go out there and perform. Why don't I want the shot? Go get the shot. Go get the shot, man. Everybody needs a shot. We're here to protect each other. Don't be selfish. Go out there and get the shot. And do what you have to do, man. But when you're talking about excited, though, he is one of the main ones who should come to this camp like, hey, you know what? Hey, this is gonna be an opportunity for me to showcase my skills. This is what I'm built for right here. I'm for all the fans out there, a defensive end and outside linebacker, they're almost grouped in together. But Fowler is that type of guy who's really an outside linebacker with defensive end skills. So now you come off the corner free, and you got to use your agility and your athleticism, and you go out there and make plays, and it plays to his advantage to go ahead and do that. So he should be the main one. Come in this camp ready to roll and get that shot, man.
What will it take for this Atlanta linebacker group to be mentioned amongst the NFL best?
I was reading an article about the linebackers a few days ago, actually, and the article started off, does Atlanta have the linebackers to be one of consider some of the best linebackers in the NFL? And right now, I don't think so, because we don't even know who our outside linebackers going to be and what kind of numbers they're going to put up. As far as the inside guys, I think the two guys, Fourier runs well. Deion Jones run well. They make plays. They make plays all over the field. They're really good in pass coverage. But to be the best, and like anything else, and Terrence will tell you, in the NFL, you want to be considered one of the best squads or best units, you better put up some wins. With the record they put up last year, there's no one considering them to be the best. If you want to be the best, you better get up there this year and put some wins up. And then around mid-season or later part of the season, you'll be then, and then you'll start hearing people talk about, hey man, it's like one of the best linebacker crews that we've seen in a while. But until then, no one don't care about 4 or 5 wins, and you probably ranked in the bottom half of the league as far as giving up yard rush and yard pass and third down conversions, and all that stuff plays a factor on if you want to be considered the best, your numbers need to be at the top.
Well, here's the thing. We know what we have in the middle. We know we have 2 bona fide players, Pro Bowl type caliber players. It's just who's going to play beside them or in front of them.
That's what we don't know.
And who's going to, the key is keeping those 2 guys clean. If you can't keep them clean, they're going to be getting gash whatsoever. So other than Jared, Davison has to step up. He has to step up this year in a big way for them to be successful defensively. Now, going to this, Jesse, I've stated the Falcons in 2020 ranked 31, 32 in total defense. Where do you think they need to be playoff caliber team? Where do you think they need to sit?
I say top 15. You got to be top 15. I think sometimes everybody strives to be, you want to be in that top 5 or the top 3, and that's ideal and that's great. But if you're in that top 15 and you're consistent and you make plays, and Terrence, you know how the ranking goes. You might put you in the top 15. You might be number 2 stopping the run, and then you might be number 14 versus the pass. But that's why you get the ratings up. But if you're at the bottom, that means you're probably 28 versus the run and 30 versus the pass. And now teams attack you in all kind of ways. And when I remember as a player, we used to have Mondays off, come in for Monday workout, Tuesdays off, come in on Wednesday. Wednesday morning, the first thing the defense coordinator would talk about is what we rank offensively, defensively, as far as the run, the pass, third down conversion. because that's a big part of the game, and part of the game get lost because, you know, as an individual player, you out there trying to figure out what you're trying to do to help your team be better, but you have to play as a unit, and how well the unit plays dictate wins and losses. And I think right now it's important when you put those numbers out there. You need to be in the top, I think, top 15 in a lot of categories to be successful in the NFL.
I get another thing, Jesse, and then I'm gonna let William jump in here. As a defensive player, what would you want to be known most as a defense that top in run stopping, or defense that's top in passing?
In the 80s and the 90s, it was heavy run. You know, we had Eric Dickerson, Hall of Famer, Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer. There's so many Barry Sanders, Hall of Famers, so many top running backs, man, and that we had to stop. So obviously, when you play teams like the 49ers and the Saints and all these teams who come in and play us, they will want to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. So you had to be, and you want to be in that top 10, if not top 5 on run defense. You want to stop the run. Now we're in an age now where they're passing the ball so much that you got to be in the top. You got to be in the top 10, top 10, top 15, and defending the pass. But it still dictates itself though. If you only can do one well and the other one you garbage. If you're garbage and stopping the run, there might be other teams who will game plan you, and if you watch the tape and the team only ran the ball 20 times, but when they play you, they're gonna run the ball 40 times. And that tells you right now, just by the numbers alone, they truly believe you can't stop the run. And it works both ways, you know. So my ultimate goal would be, when I was playing, I wanted to definitely stop the run first. Even in this new day and age time right now, if you don't stop the run, you can't play football. So right. you better stop the run right now and force them to pass. And although your teams are passing a lot, it's critical to give a little, take a little, but on third down, you need to get off the football field. And that's the biggest down of all, is trying to get off the football field, particularly anything over 3rd and 8. So that's where you want to get yourself in the NFL. You want to be 3rd and long majority of the times.
What does it take to cover these new tight ends from the linebacker position, like Kyle Pitts? What would you have to do to possibly, make it an even playing field?
William, let me see. At 5'11", 230, I'll have to grow a little bit. I tell you that right now. A little faster. Hey, look, he's a special individual, man. He's special. He's long. He can run. It's going to take to being physical at the line of scrimmage. You're going to have some help with the DNs, and the outside linebacker is jamming him without a free release. Obviously, you guys go out there. Terrence, you're the perfect example. Hey, listen, when you got a free release, I don't care how fast, how quick somebody is, you get open no matter what, right? I'm telling you, you can get open no matter what. And so I think as a linebacker, and if I had to cover some of the tight ends now in the league right now, I would depend on my teammates to get a jam and then be physical. Be physical. And every time they make a catch under 5 or 10 yards, you punish them. Physically, you hit them so hard because they don't like to be hit, man. Most tight ends who are receivers, they don't like blocking. They don't like to be hit. So they think they're wide receivers. They're giants, wide receivers in their minds. I'm big. I'm a wide receiver, man. I'm not gonna block nobody. Nobody gonna hit me. But when you start pounding them, hitting them, and jamming them up, they realize it's still football, and you just can't run free. It's not track and field.
Okay. Who do you think is the best defensive player on the Falcons team, not named Grady Jarrett?
That's a good point. I'm about to be able to bias and say, got to be Grady Jarrett. I would probably go in that case. I would think Deion Jones right now. He got the most potential to help change the outcome of a game. You got to start. You're on the field the entire time. You're taking all the snaps, the majority of the snaps, on pass defense, and you get the opportunity to start the run as well. So he's the one right now, I think, need to show a lot of leadership and go out there and play each and every Sunday and let them feed off of him.
What are some key differences between the outside and the inside position as far as their responsibilities are concerned?
Outside guys, mostly, if you're playing a 3-4 defense, The outside guys is their job is to hold the edge and rush the quarterback. And no, you just do not let nobody get to the sideline trying to run outside sweeps. On third down, you need to get to the quarterback to take the pressure off the corners and the safety. That's your job. That is your job, to be special, to be athletic, and go out there and make plays. Inside linebackers, to me, is the one who controls the tempo. You're the quarterback of the defense. You are the one that's going to set the tempo as far as stopping the run and punishing some of the little dump passes into the backs, little short passes to tight ends, and being so physical that they know that your presence is there. If you can do that, it changes the tempo of the game. And that's the way I prepare myself. If you're going to catch the ball in front of me, I'm going to pound and beat you up pretty good. So by the end of the game, they're going to come a time where you're going to be looking for me to hit you more so than catching the ball. So it's a different mentality. I don't think outside linebackers are as physical as the inside linebackers, to be honest with you, because they're not taking on 300-pound guards. Most of the time, they got to beat a tackle who's moving backwards. And we got to inside backer, normally when I played, we had to beat 300 pounds coming downhill, looking you dead in the eyes, and you had to beat him, the tackle or running back that weighs 240 pounds. So yeah, a double task, you know what I mean? So I think overall, the inside linebacker have more responsibility, and you lead in trying to get everybody in the right places and make everything work.
Who was one of those 300-pound guys that you might see coming?
I'll tell you what, I played against so many of them around the league, and I remember my first year though, as a rookie. We had the late Bill Fralick was in camp, and he was a first-round pick out of Pitt, and I was an undrafted short linebacker out of Boston State. And the first day of practice with pads on, we had to do the Oklahoma drill. Woo. And if many of you guys don't know what the Oklahoma drill is, you line up, head up.
Go look it up.
Boom. and they tried to really make an example out of me because they chose their best player against an unknown linebacker. But that sort of helped me build my reputation because I beat him 2 out of 3 times.
Okay.
Well, you just said you bench coming in 500 pounds. So if my math is right, a 300-pounder and then 240 pounds, that's 540. So you get
absolutely. You know what?
That's
right. You know what? That is so true, man. So true. I always feel like linebackers. I walk around and they'll say, "Man, dang, so I thought you were much taller than that." I said, "The game is about leverage, man. Staying low and be able to move your feet." And listen, and I was really good in lateral movement. I was extremely strong, and I just had a nose for the football. So that helped me a ton. And I look back at my career now. I don't know how I made over 2,000 tackles and played 14 years because I was so physical inside. But as you get older, T-Matt, all your accomplishment that you achieved, you appreciate them more, right? I mean, you appreciate them more because when you living it and going through it, you don't think much about it. But you really have to stay healthy. So many things have to happen right for you, and I think all of us are blessed to play a long time.
Now let me clear something up real fast. Mm-hmm. Are you not still the all-time leading tackle holder in NFL history?
They don't have me as the all-time tackle leader, but I'm in either one or two. Now, one thing I don't like is Wikipedia.
You can stop
Wikipedia,
right there.
I've seen guys.
Stop right there, Jesse. I want you to stop right there. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a guy played 14 years. How many Pro Bowls?
5 Pro Bowls.
Been to the Super Bowl. Okay. Yep. In the
3-time
top 3,
All-Pro. All-Pro, yeah.
The top 3 all time in tackles, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's a shame.
It's weird. It's weird.
Shame. So so you go, why does this happen?
Yeah.
Okay. This is why it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Your organization needs to push that.
I agree.
The local media needs to push that. It's totally sometimes agree. You gotta get out of that stupor and that drunkenness of what's going on today and all about today, and give those their due from yesterday. And that's where I am right now with the media here in town and the organization. They're so enamored with what they have, they forget about the past. If you forget about the past, you will soon repeat it in a
absolutely
positive way. So give this man his due. He belongs in a Hall of Fame. He needs to be on the ballot tomorrow.
Hey, T-Matt, man, you my boy, and I appreciate it. And and it means a lot to me to hear it come from you as well. because I think my number is just as good as a lot of the guys who are going into the hall right now. And it's so weird to me that, in the 80s and early 90s, we played in a small market. People didn't see much. The hype wasn't there. Man, the hype was there now, like how social media is now. Some of the plays I made that people didn't see, it's like it'd be a no-brainer. It'd be a no-brainer. But then you got teams that guys played on more teams that had more exposure.
Yeah.
Maybe won a few more games than we won, during that time we wasn't battling, and then all of a sudden now, they get the notch, but I don't look at them as being a better athlete than I am, or a better player, or made more plays than I made. Sometimes I look at it as, is it about fame? Is it about ability? Whatever it's about, it is. I think my time will come eventually. But most of all, man, I appreciate guys like you. One of my it's a popularity. That's right.
Popularity.
And, I appreciate guys like you, my old teammates.
Man, that's what it comes down to.
And I'm hoping one day it'll happen. It'll happen. But it's just absolutely crazy. It's just so crazy how things go. But man, I tell you what, it does mean a lot coming from you, though. Thanks a lot, big dog.
Well, William, let me give you a little bit about Jesse and I. In '98. The year we went to the Super Bowl, we were always like one of the first ones out of the locker room. And we'd be sitting there talking, and the pre-practice goes on with the special teams whatsoever. And me and Jesse sitting there talking about a water cooler whatsoever, talking about, hey man, let's have a great day today. Let's show some energy. When that horn blew for us to go, we were flying. We were every time that blew, said that. We were the first ones in our group to where we were supposed to be, because
all the time.
This is what I talked about, William. If you don't have that lead dog in your group that sets the tempo, if Jesse had a bad practice, we all had a bad practice. If I didn't bring energy, everybody didn't have the energy. So that's what we did. We played off of each other to uplift each other, to help uplift our team. And to say that, who is that guy on this year's Falcons team to do that?
Good point,
I can say on the defensive side, I don't know. You got a couple.
Yeah.
On the offensive
who's
side,
the guy on the offensive side? I don't know. And that's a good point. That's a good point you made. And going back when we played, I always told people I played full speed at practice. That made it easy for me in the games. And that's the way you practice. And now when you get to the game, it's no big deal to go full speed. It's no big deal to hustle and make plays and catch ball that's difficult, because you did in practice all week. And that's the thing I felt like I made plays all the time at the line of scrimmage, because I did in practice every day, full speed. Okay, but now who is that guy? I don't know. You look at the offensive side of the ball, you don't know who's the guy who's gonna step up. And the receiver is better than I do. So I don't know who the receiver gonna be the leader. We don't know who the running back gonna step up. Yeah, some of these skills positions that the leadership starting to change with who you're going and everything else. Who's gonna be the guy that step up and show the way to get to where you want to go and lead the team? It's gonna be interesting.
William, here's the thing. Jesse said something, that he went full speed in practice on everything that he did. I did the same thing. And I used to get yelled at when it was time to conditioning, because I was always in the back.
Right.
Keep up. You got to keep up. Come on. Let's go. And I used to yell, y'all didn't practice as hard as I did today.
Absolutely. That's right.
I made all my times, but I was always in the back. But guess what? On game day, I was flying. I'm flying around.
Wide open.
It's like the first quarter. And they looking at me, and I used to wear sleeves and everything. And I used to be just sweat and rich. And they're like, why is he always last in conditioning? Hey, man, I ain't trying to outrun you. I'm trying to finish conditioning.
That sounds like me, man. That is unbelievable, because that's the way we practice. I mean, my conditioning was practice, running to the ball as fast as I can. With football. Quick movements, the same football movement, because we're not. I don't know. I think it's something broken with the NFL, particularly. You always want guys who can come in and run these fast, crazy times. But if they can't move and can't cut and can't change direction, we're not a track star. We're football players. That means you get to move your body in different angles and accelerate, slow down, accelerate, move. Just so many different movements. But everybody think about who run the 40, who run for 40. Some people just straight line runners and they can't do nothing. And then it don't translate over to being a football player, right? Because T-Mac, no one can cover you in the slot. Nobody. I don't care. You put a corner on you that nobody can cover you. Because your footwork.
The most overrated test at the combine, at pro days, whatsoever, is the 40-yard dash.
I can't stand it.
Let me tell you why it's the most
I hate the 40-yard
overrated.
dash. Yeah.
The most overrated because, first of all, I have never sprinted 40 yards full speed.
Thank you. Hey, look.
First of all, I have never sprinted 40-yard full speed in a game without equipment on. So,
and look, man, that is
you're wearing drawers and a tank top and running a 40, and you running 4.3, 4.4, 4.5. But then when you put that helmet, shoulder pads, and everything on, you ain't running that fast.
You ain't running that no more.
Running full speed, straight line, 40 yards.
And you ain't showing no agility
about that.
See, man, what one position? You play wide receiver. Even at wide receiver, you never run 40 yards. They don't mean nothing. You don't have to turn. You got to run a route. You got to set somebody up. You got to break down. You got to move your hips. You want to do everything. So even that linebacker, when I see guys, and that's why I mentioned earlier, about the Falcons linebacker, they got them listed as four guys, but really it doesn't matter if you don't play inside that box within a 10-yard radius, and you can't shift, move, and read the plays and read the backs and able to accelerate and make tackles. And to me, I don't think no one was faster than me or quicker than me in that area as far as making plays. And then so I knew for a fact I had to tell myself the 40-yard dash or the 40-yard time is really nothing but something to put on paper. Because other than that, you got to be a football player. This ain't track. It's the Olympics, man. It's 2021 with the Olympics. Only time you run a straight line means something right now if you're in the Olympics. Other than that, it does not mean nothing. You need to be a football player. Okay, last thing, TV, I'll say this right here. Every one of the guys right now in the Olympics, every one of them can beat any football player in a straight line right now. Well, why they ain't playing football then and making millions of dollars?
They can't.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. So that should let some of these scouts and teams know that really their system is really broken.
It is.
And they're broken in so many ways. And I've seen it a lot, even with my oldest son. I've seen it in so many ways how it's broken, and they look at crazy stuff. But with that being said, though, they need to find a way to catch up. It's a new system. As a new kind of athlete you're looking at, and right now they still using the old systems.
I want to get a quick question in real quick. With so many players in various sports, they're looking to get a ring. Some athletes are joining up with all pros to make it possible. My question is, because you were with the Falcons for 14 years, never with anybody else, did you ever contemplate playing for any other team?
William, that's a good question. To help you understand a little bit better and help a lot of fans understand that, I was at a point, I came into the league when they didn't have free agency. We were not allowed to move. And then when we became allowed to move, they called it something where they classified as Plan B, where certain players could leave and certain players couldn't. I was always a franchise player, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So every time my contract would come up, Falcons always offer me a deal that, and I really didn't want to leave. And then at the very end of my career, I was part of the free agency, and now I'm older. So at that time, I was about 33, 34 years old. And now they're looking at me in a whole different light as being an older athlete. So I was fortunate to get a part of the free agency, the hop team. But now, at that time, I thought it worked against me because I wanted to see what it was like to have an opportunity if I wanted to showcase my skills somewhere else. But then when I look back at it now, I look at it that, you know what, I'm glad I spent my whole career here, in my home state. I grew up right here. My name is in the Ring of Honor here. And now it means a lot more to me that I might have left a few $1 million on the table, but right now that's not that important, because money come and go. It's all about, being here and, just being fortunate enough that I can walk around this city and people still recognize me. And it's cool. So maybe I didn't get a chance to experience. I never knew what it has been like to play for another team. But overall, it is what it is. And it turned out great for me. And I was fortunate enough to, be here for 14 years.
I know what it's like to play for another team.
Right. Okay.
and that cup of coffee I had in Pittsburgh wasn't that good.
Okay, I got you.
But here's the thing, you're right, Jesse. When I was right there at the beginning of the free agency when it first hit, and I became a free agent after 4 years with the Jets. Falcons called. I wanted to come home and play. This is where I grew up, went to high school and everything. This is where I wanted to play. And this is where I wanted to retire. All I wanted to do is retire Atlanta Falcons. and I didn't get that
Absolutely.
opportunity to do
See,
that.
that's
And
right.
and I'm just finally, after almost 20 years, getting over that fact.
Wow. Yeah, because we put a lot
Because-
into it. See, that's right.
because
It
at the end
means
of
a
the
lot
day,
to us as
yeah,
individuals. Right.
it means a lot because this is your home team. And this
Absolutely.
is where you grew up at, and this is where you made your name and did what you did, and made a living, and for your and made things possible for your family. And then not to be, do you see, a lot of people don't know this. I'm on Pittsburgh Steelers roster as a retired Pittsburgh Steeler,
Wow.
not an Atlanta Falcon.
See, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I promise you, I haven't thought
a
about
lot of
it. That's
people
right.
don't know that. I was not allowed to retire as a Falcon. And I'm not even going to go into all the logistics of it. I was just not allowed to retire as an Atlanta Falcon, and that was just a shame. And
disappointing. Absolutely.
You know, even for my family, for myself, and some of my friends and fans, it's disappointing. But look, I still wear the red and black. I still got it
all the
around.
time, all the time, man. It's part of you, dude. It's part of you.
Part of it.
And we got some great memories here, and nothing beat the '98 season, going to the Super Bowl and you scoring the touchdowns, and in the NFC Championship game when no one thought we could win up there in Minnesota. There's so many great highlights, man, and it means a lot to me when you get that time of the year and they always showing the repeat plays, and you can see yourself and see myself. We out there, and we're a part of history no matter what. Here in Atlanta. No one, there's only one team and one person ever gonna be doing something for the first time. So we were the first one to go to the Super Bowl. And they're always gonna live. They're always gonna be talked about.
It's gonna always be there.
Yeah, man. So I thought that was pretty cool right there, though. That was one of my best seasons as far as just a team, individual team. Just everything that we experienced that year was unbelievably magic because no one thought we could do it.
Well, everybody, thank y'all for joining us. It's been a great show. I do agree with T-Matt that Jesse Tuggle should be in the NFL Hall of Fame. So let's get that done. And again, make sure you subscribe, everyone. Y'all have a great day.
God bless.